Hello, welcome everybody. We are here once again today for a little bit of lettering, and we're going to be rolling to determine what style we're going to do. So I just have a D6 right here. I have a variety of different styles. I don't have my nib out right now, so I'll do something else for that. I don't know, a different style. But I'm going to roll here. Well, okay, before I roll, I guess, let's warm up. Always a good idea to warm up. Okay, here's a sheet that I have been using to do just that, to warm up. And let's do that. All right. Okay. Bam, ba, bam. So I know the year that I am going to be looking at baby names. I'm going to be looking at 1947. I use the same warm-up sheets as much as I can just to conserve paper, because I don't need a fresh sheet every time. Try to be very mindful of my posture. Hey there, Linda. This is feeling good already. I feel like I'm decently warmed up. No worries, Linda. I totally understand. Handmade book club. That's awesome. I don't blame you for not wanting to miss that. Okay, last little row here. Okay, I feel warmed up. let's do some lettering. Let me look up my list first. I'm looking at baby names. Baby names, 1947. Let's see. Let's go to Baby Med. I don't know. Babymed.com. Let's do it. Okay. All right. Let's do it. I'm going to use my tool here, my little laser tool, to help me keep things on the straight and narrow. But first we need to roll for a style. So let's see what we got. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Small. Okay, that's actually the one that I don't happen to have right next to me. So let me grab that really quick. Well, Linda, I totally understand if you don't have time to make it to like this or anything else. I get it. Life happens. Okay, so we're doing small brush pen. Got my little small guy here. Make sure it's on. It's a little dry. I need to get some new ones. That's better. Okay. There we go. Okie dokie. This one's going to be a full page. Lots of names. So we're starting off here with James. Actually, let's start off with the first girl name, which is Linda. I'm going to go a little higher. Let me zoom in. Let's get a little closer, a little more personal here. Linda. Top name in the 50s. It was a very popular name back then. James? Is that how you spell James? You slow it down enough. James is a silly name. James. Not silly, but I don't know. Different. Not a lot like that. Ending in ES rather than like SE or something. All right. Robert. Robert. Mary. Mary's a nice name. Nice and capital M is good. And of course, if anyone has a name that they would want me to letter, I'll do that. Next, we have John with an H. Very nice. I like that. Ooh, Patricia. That's a new one for me. I don't know that I've ever lettered a Patricia. A little wonky there. Patricia. Make sure I spelled that right. Patricia. Patricia. Yes. Looks nice. Looks nice. All right. Next name. We're going to do William. Another good one. William. All right. Now we have Barbara. I like Barbara because it's literally just Barbara, which I don't know, tickles me. Yeah. Right on. Barbara. All right, now we have a Richard, otherwise known as Dick, which is such a strange second nickname from this name. I've never understood it. Richard. Right on. Sandra. Ooh, Sandy. One of my favorite ongoing little bits. There's a show called Silicon Valley. It's great. It's got a lot of really great things going for it. But the main character's name is Richard, and there is one other character. His name is Guilfoyle, who only calls him Dick when he's mad at him, and it's just a running thing throughout the entire show. It's never mentioned. Never ever mentioned. Richard to Rich to Rick to Dick. Yeah, definitely an evolution. That it went through some stages. Also, hello there, adventures in fantasy. All right, Sandra. R-A? Yeah. Sandra. That's nice. That's nice. I like that. Now we have David and Carol. David. Nice. I feel like I'm getting faster. Now we have Carol, David. Now we have Michael and Nancy. Michael. A-E-L? A-E-L. Michael. Now we have Thomas and Susan. We're running out of space here. I think we only have 4 more names on this page. And then we'll switch styles again. Thomas. 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 All right. Now Charles and Sharon. Sharon. All right. That is 1 page down. Okay. I feel really lovely. That was a whole sheet. Really nice. Okay, roll again. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Brush pen, specifically Tombows, which I have right here. Okay, Sharon is where I left off. Now we're jumping back in with Larry and Donna. Let's see, I have some fun colors here. All right, Larry. Okay, definitely a chunkier style. I'm looking for something a little more fun with this one, a little bit less elegant. Now, Ronald. Let's do a different color. Let's keep it moving color wise. Ronald. Ronald and Kathleen. I don't know if I have room for Kathleen. Let's jump down a little bit. Let's do Judy. Okay. Start with Kathleen. Nice. I like that. Kathleen. Cool. Now Gary. That embellishment was. I wish I could take it back. I can't. Kathleen, Gary, Judith. That's a pretty color. Oh, that's a pretty color. It's a lovely color. Judith. Now we have Donald. Cool. Switching colors once again. We have Donald, Karen. Karen and Joseph. So Joseph is Jose PH. Okay. Room for one more. I don't know that I love that J. It's okay though. After Joseph, we have Judy, which we did. Then we have Kenneth and a Carolyn. Kenneth is, yeah, just Kenneth. And Carolyn. Very nice. Larry, Donna, Ronald, Judy, Kathleen, Gary, Judith, Donald, Karen, Joseph, Kenneth, and Carolyn. And a partridge in a pear tree. Okay. Another, getting a couple pieces of paper just because there's tiny little bumps in my desk. Just really little ones that a second layer of paper will help with. All right, we have Carolyn done. Now we start with George and Margaret. But first, we have to pick a style. We just did that. 3, nib. Tell you what, I'm going to use italics, but I'm going to go for a different style. So not like Gothic. Let me pull this up really quick. Hopping over to my Pinterest where I have some stuff saved, and I'm having to avoid looking at things because I don't want to get sucked into it. Lettering ideas. It's the name of the board, lettering ideas. Sorry, I said that part out loud and then didn't actually, finish the thought. Just looking at different alphabets that I have saved away. Nothing really stealing my attention here. So Let's just roll with this. I have a thing. I'm gonna roll with it. Okay. Right, where's my list? Back on with the old laser level. Let's get this party started. George and Margaret. Margaret. I have to phonetically say it just to make sure I know it. Kind of making up a style. George and Margaret. Thanks, Linda. Trying it out. Let's see, what's next? George, Margaret. Now we have Dennis and Betty. Betty. I like Betty. Dennis IS. Betty. It's pretty good. I feel like this is just losing so much ink. Not losing it, but like it's just very, very wet pen. Okay, now we have Paul. Kind of messed up the L a little bit there, but I'm not going to fuss with it too much. All right, Paul and Diane. Diane? Jack and Diane. Thanks, adventures. Trying to, I don't know what style this would be called. This is definitely italics of some kind, but it is a type that, a name that I am not grasping. Two American kids just doing the best that they can. Edward and Shirley. Songs in my head now. Edward. Edward and who was it? What was her name? Shirley. Shirley. And we have Jerry and Joyce. How do you do a J in this style? Oh my. John Cougar Mellencamp, or John Mellencamp, or all three? Are you asking me like you know and you're quizzing me, or are you asking me because I don't know? Jerry. That's what we're doing here. Jerry and Joyce, I believe. Is that right? Was Joyce. It was all three. John Cougar Mellencamp, or John Mellencamp. All three. I'll remember that next time it comes up in trivia. Stefan and Brenda. All right, let's capture Stefan. I suppose it could be Stephen, but it's spelled with a PH. Nope. Nope. I started spelling the wrong name. Step. That's not right. Let's try again. Honestly, the fact that I got this far before I misspelled something is pretty impressive. There we go. Stefan and who was your Brenda? All right, well, I guess Brenda's coming down here. Brenda. All right. Well, we can go ahead and fit another name on here. Let's go for it. Daniel. A little wonky there. All right. Well, whatever. Okay. There we go. So you can see the ink is a little bleedy. That's not bad. But we have George, Margaret, Dennis, Betty, Paul, Diane, Edward, Shirley, Jerry, Joyce, Stephen, Brenda, and Daniel. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and roll. Let's do this last one. Just did that. 6. Monoline. Here we go. I have some Posca pens here. Oh dear. This one seems to have had a little bit of a leak inside. Let's see if it still works. Talk about the man with many names. Daniel and Janice. They're so clean and nice. Janice. Do you all like the little hat on Jay's? I vary. I think I prefer without, though. So, Shelby, why did you just add one now? I don't know. Seemed like the thing to do. Frank. Switching colors. Hats. Yes, hats. And thank you. That's very kind. Monoline lettering is so clean and tidy looking. I love it. Who did we just do? Frank? Now we have Janet. Damn it, Janet. And Stephen. This one has a V. I feel good about this one being pronounced Stephen. A little wonky on the E. There's one downside of monoline lettering is if you get something off a little bit, it's a lot more visible just because everything is so uniform. All right, we have Stephen. Now we have Cheryl. I misspelled that. There's a Y in there. Let's try again. With a Y. I want to talk about some funky spelling. Cheryl is an interesting RYL. All right, back to red. I'm going to kind of keep rotating through here. Roger. Roger that. Roger and Elizabeth. A lot of red crumbs because there's dried ink on the inside of the cap. Roger and Elizabeth. Check. Who's next? After Elizabeth, we have Terry. Terry. Not to be confused with Jerry. Terry and Dorothy. That's a name you don't see all that often. Now we are doing purple. Yes, there you are. Dorothy, Raymond, and Gloria. Gloria. Oh, I like how that one turned out. That's nice. All right, back to red. Now we have Gerald. Gerald. Not gonna lie, whenever John and I are joking about like, I don't know, when we name something to be funny, we often choose Jerry or Gerald. Like we're talking to someone off camera, like, cut that out, Gerald. I don't know. I can't think of a good example right now, but we like Gerald and Jerry. Gerald and Pamela. George. Yep. I feel like everyone has like a name that like their sort of joke name that they just reach for. Sometimes it's more of like a pet name than a human name, but it feels like a common thing people do. Okay, that was the last sheet. It is now 2:00. Let's do a name read off, shall we? All right, so we have, make sure that's dry. Yes. Linda, James, Robert, Mary, John, Patricia, William, Barbara, Richard, Sandra, Carol, David, Nancy, Michael, Susan, Thomas, Charles, Sharon, Larry, Donna, Ronald, Judy, Kathleen, Gary, Judith, Donald, Karen, Joseph, Kenneth, Carolyn, George, Margaret, Dennis, Betty, Paul, Diane, Edward, Shirley, Jerry, Joyce, Stephen, Brenda, and Daniel. And then finally, we have Janice, Frank, Janet, Stephen, Cheryl, Roger, Elizabeth, Terry, Dorothy, Raymond, Gloria, Gerald, Pamela. Is there any name that when I hear it, I think that person is rude? Yes. Well, it depends. If it's a real person's name, then no. I generally speaking, it's the way certain words are spelled. So I have a common thing where when I meet people and they tell me their name and it's not a super obvious spelling. Like Shelby is one that, yes, you can run into a Shelby with an I instead of a Y, but it's really rare. But when you meet someone like a I don't know, Stephen or Stefan, there's different spellings. So I will ask people how they spell their names when I meet them. And there are certain spellings that I prefer over others. And there's a running joke. Not, I didn't come up with this running joke, but there's a running joke that names that end in an I instead of a Y is an indication that that person is going to be a lot, shall we say. Yep. I know exactly what you mean. All right. Well, I am going to call it right there. But this was a lovely practice session. I feel really good about this. Look at these. This was nice. Ooh, like a hunter. Yeah, I can see that with a hunter. I think I'm suspicious of Connors. Or Tanners. Maybe not Tanner. I grew up rural Oklahoma, so there are certain names that make me think of the some of the boys out there. But I'm gonna call it there. This was really fun. Thank you for joining me on my walk through 1947 baby names. I will not be doing this live next week. I'm going to be traveling, so don't be looking forward to it because it's not going to happen. I'll be back 2 weeks from now. But if you are interested, we are doing a watercolor Wednesday class later this afternoon in just about 2 hours. We're going to be talking about how to do graded washes, which is going from a nice deep color pigment to like washing it out until it's almost nothing. It's really cool. It's a great skill to have in watercolor. And we're going to do a little mini project too. And all of that is only going to be 30 minutes. It's just $10 for an individual class over on foxy.com. That's FOXSY.com. I should really have a link in my bio. And I will see you all next time. Have a good one.